All right, let's get right into it. Welcome to this explainer where we are unraveling the complex and frankly shocking MacDonald-Hudkins enterprise. We're going to expose how a multi-decade pattern of domestic volatility mixed with alleged taxpayer fraud was used to mask a terrifying system of child neglect. By tracking public court dockets, whistleblower reports, and corporate filings, we can finally piece together the full picture of an empire built on a very fragile and incredibly damaging foundation.
We've got a lot of ground to cover today, so we're breaking this investigation down into 5 clear phases. The 20-year cycle, the Great Diversion, the human cost, the silencing machine, and finally, the final implosion. Let's jump in.
Starting off with Section 1, the 20-year cycle, a foundation of volatility. We really need to lay the groundwork here and establish that the current operational chaos isn't just some recent string of bad luck. It's actually part of a 2-decade-long pattern.
To put that into perspective, court records reveal a massive 20-year cycle of legal interventions. Back in 2006, in a case known as Owen versus MacDonald, a temporary order for protection was granted against Patrick MacDonald. This proves his documented volatility and the resulting firearm surrender orders predate his relationship with Katie Hudkins by over a decade. And the cycle just keeps repeating. There's a 2017 ex parte protection order, and then again in 2026, a court formally found that domestic violence occurred, hitting MacDonald with his second weapon surrender order in 10 years. The personal chaos was always there, setting the stage for the corporate chaos to come.
Moving on to Section 2, the Great Diversion, hiding the plunder. This is where we introduce the real engine of the current collapse, a massive public investment that mysteriously vanished into a web of private luxury.
Get this. In March 2024, an entity called Treetop Village scored a staggering $450,000 state grant from the Washington State Department of Commerce. This was supposed to build childcare infrastructure in Port Orchard, an area that desperately needed it. A literal childcare desert, according to local reports. It was intended to fund a massive 30,000-square-foot facility to help working parents.
But that dream never materialized. The Port Orchard project was completely abandoned due to severe structural issues. We're talking about heating units literally sinking through the roof, making it entirely unsafe for any child to be in. Yet, according to investigative reports, the owners allegedly just left with the money while their corporation slipped right into a delinquent status.
So, where did the money go? Well, a stark money trail starts to emerge. While the Port Orchard site sat empty and childcare staff back in Bremerton faced unpaid, bounced checks, the couple was allegedly busy elsewhere. Public filings show them snapping up active luxury hospitality assets, like the Harbor Bar, and coastal real estate lots out in ocean shores. It's a tale of 2 completely different realities, public funding and employee hardship on one side, and private coastal luxury on the other.
It's honestly like a giant financial shell game. By 2025, their primary childcare brand, Treetop Village Kids Inc., is officially listed as delinquent. Previous ventures, like Oakley Landscaping, are dissolved. Meanwhile, they spun up a flurry of brand-new active LLCs for their hospitality ventures. To shield themselves from creditors, they rolled physical assets, including their $1 million Olala home, into trusts. They were effectively trying to restart the cycle under new names, while the old ones collapsed under tax warrants and lawsuits.
Which brings us to Section 3, the human cost, gluttony versus neglect. Because beyond all the financial shell games and the corporate delinquency, there are real, vulnerable victims paying the ultimate price for this gluttony.
We really need to talk about this harrowing whistleblower receipt. This public post from a former employee exposes a stark behind-the-scenes reality. They detail a chaotic, heartbreaking environment where infants were left to cry for hours without consolation, where sick children were kept in the facility, and where supplies brought by parents were used on other children. But the most chilling part? They expose a systematic cover-up stating that ownership would actually delete injury notes right out of their daycare's tracking app.
The human cost documented in public reviews and employee statements is absolutely staggering. We have a report from a foster family detailing a malnourished 6-month-old infant receiving just 2 bottles in an entire 8-hour shift. There are accounts of a toddler repeatedly returning home with unexplained black eyes, deep scratches, and bite marks. At their Silverdale location, parents reported moldy kitchen cabinets being stored in open classrooms and a supposedly peanut-free facility serving peanut ice cream to kids under 2. It's completely unacceptable.
Now you might be wondering, how does a state-licensed facility hide this? They allegedly did it through outright digital erasure. When a child sustained an injury, a teacher would rightfully log the accident in the ProCare app.
But before parents could even see it, ownership allegedly intercepted the notification, swiped it away, and deleted the note entirely. They were literally wiping away the digital evidence to trick state regulators, subvert monitoring, and maintain a totally false appearance of compliance.
This leads us right into Section 4, the silencing machine. Police as enforcers. Because deleting app notifications is one thing, but silencing angry parents and staff? That requires something a lot stronger.
Things really hit a boiling point on August 3, 2026. According to community posts, children at the Bremerton facility allegedly didn't receive lunch, and classrooms were operating out of legal ratios. When a parent of a school-age girl went in to simply ask why her daughter wasn't fed, the director weaponized law enforcement. They actually called the police and had the parent formally trespassed, threatening her with arrest if she ever set foot on the property to pick up her own child.
Then that retaliation was aimed right at their own staff, too. The former director, Talia, was fired without cause and blamed for the business's failings. Other whistleblowers who dared to report safety violations, like a child being struck, were reportedly sent home on unpaid leave. And just to put the final nail in the coffin of free speech, Hudkins initiated defamation proceedings against reporting parties, using weaponized litigation to punish anyone who tried to expose the reality inside Treetop Village.
But, you can only outrun the truth for so long. Here is Section 5, the final implosion, the empire in ruin. It's the ultimate irony that the very legal system they manipulated is now the thing dismantling their empire.
The absolute turning point was the June 26, 2026 judicial order. Right in the middle of a highly contentious divorce between Katie and Patrick, a Kitsap County Superior Court judge confirmed a temporary order that completely froze the marital estate. This was a massive blow. It totally cut off their liquidity, ended their coastal exit strategy in ocean shores, and enforced mandatory financial transparency. The protective shell was officially cracked wide open.
So now, we're looking at a complete systemic collapse. Thanks to the divorce discovery process, forensic accountants are digging in, relentlessly tracing where that missing $450,000 state grant actually went. Those ocean shores properties and the trusts they used to hide assets, completely frozen by the court. Furthermore, a court-appointed guardian ad litem is now actively investigating the safety of the parents' environments, drawing direct attention back to the daycare horrors. And that unified legal front they used to bully parents, it is shattered as they now face off against one another in court.
To wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a question to chew on. As this legal blockade thoroughly dismantles 20 years of deceit, where exactly did that $450,000 in taxpayer money truly end up? And more importantly, as the corporate entities dissolve and the assets remain frozen, who is finally going to answer for the human ledger, the children and the whistleblowers left in their wake? Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and keep asking the tough questions.